All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we got groundbreaking news. Mitch McConnell is finally done. Mitch McConnell. Wow. I know clearly this guy has been around for a very long time. Yeah, we don't need to see your face up there. So Mitch McConnell, what? How is he gone? It's kind of mind-boggling to just know how long this guy has been around. He's been Senate Majority Leader, basically representing Republicans. Um, in let's see here, majority leaders or party leaders. Mitch McConnell has been a party leader for, let's just say, a very long time. He's been the majority leader, or just the Senate leader in the said GOP. Let's see, 2007. He's been somehow the party leader, Republican leader in the Senate for longer. Well, for I've been alive longer than he has been in power, believe it or not. But he's been alive. He's been in power for a majority of my life. Like, I will tell you, probably 80%, 70% of my life, Mitch McConnell was Senate Majority Leader. And now he's finally stepping down. I could see this coming. This guy is like 82 years old. We would have an 82-year-old Mitch McConnell in the United States Senate. Of course, Mitch McConnell, he most likely will not seek re-election in 2026, simply because this guy's an old guy. And we have Joe Biden, who's running for re-election, same age as Mitch McConnell. And he goes and he says, "Oh, I'm going to run for re-election." Well, guess what? How hypocritical if we criticizing Joe Biden for running re-election and we have Mitch McConnell, who is just as old as Joe Biden, and we don't even know he's running for a unprecedented. Let's see. He's been served 7 terms in Congress. We don't know if he's going to run for an eighth term in 2026. So I would imagine most likely not, because this guy's 82 years old. Why would we elect an 82-year-old guy? This guy's not popular. This guy does not get work done. This guy watches his bank account fill up. This guy does nothing. So, of course, learning about electoral history, this video is not an honorary Mitch McConnell anyway, but Mitch McConnell was elected to the United States Senate by just a tiny bit, like 0.20% of a victory margin against Walter D. Huddleston, which was the incumbent United States Senator at the time. Mitch McConnell managed to get elected to the United States Senate in the red wave of 1984. And now he most likely will leave. Hopefully he doesn't die in office. We don't want him to die. First off, I hope we don't want anyone to die, but we need Mitch McConnell to truck through until 2026. Why? Because first off, we don't want you to be the majority leader. We don't want you to be the minority leader. We don't want you to have nothing to do with being a leader in the Senate. But we want you to keep being senator until 2026, because let's just say Mitch McConnell resigns. He's too old. Then guess who gets to choose the senator? Democrats, right? Kentucky is a blue state under Governor Andy Beshear. They basically get a free Senate seat. There will most likely be a Senate election, but I will tell you that that Senate election is not going to look so good, because usually incumbents win. And we have, let's see, Andy Beshear, who's popular. This person might, the state of Kentucky will have a sneak peek of this new guy, this new Democrat senator in Kentucky. And they're like, "Oh, I actually really like him." And they'll show up, and this will end up like a 2019, 2023 situation and scenario in said Kentucky. So, yes, it's not worth it. We need Mitch McConnell to keep trucking. it would be quite bad if he dies, honestly. So yes, Mitch McConnell. Um, yeah, I will tell you right now, Mitch McConnell is a strong leader at back then. He's pretty weak now because Mitch McConnell represents what I like to call the Bush Republicans. Mitch McConnell simply has not moved on from the Republican Party, which I will call the era between George H.W. Bush and the era of George W. Bush. I like to think of this era, and yes, it includes Bob Dole, because I would say Bush kind of had some influence in there, despite Ronald Reagan still being alive. But yes, this era, the Bush era, I would like to call from 1989 to 2009, like 20-year era of in the GOP, the Bush era, but basically neocon era. Mitch McConnell is still in that era. His brain's still on that era. His brain has not moved on from that era in GOP history. That now, or you could say, in many ways, that the era stretches from 1989 to 2016 with the rise of Donald Trump. That's fair too, right? So it's more like 26-year era. Mitch McConnell loves that era, and he doesn't like the era of Donald Trump. But that is the era that we are in, and we have to accept that. And embrace it. The Democrats will say, "Oh, the Republican Party is the party of Trump," and they act like it's a negative thing. But honestly, we need to turn that back on them and it kind of embrace and take it all in and turn it into a positive thing. So when they call us the party of Trump, people are going to start thinking of it as a positive thing. They're not going to go and we're not going to cringe. We're like, oh, GOP just got roasted there. No, we will take it and we say, yes, we are proud to have Donald J. Trump as the leader of the Republican Party. And we are going in our historical party, which went from Abraham Lincoln to Theodore Roosevelt to Richard Nixon, to Ronald Reagan, and now to Donald J. Trump. We will continue to have leaders like him and them, as you know. So this is kind of what Republicans kind of need to, in order to kind of embrace and kind of need to have a good perspective on if they want to stop getting tons of backlash and criticism. So I want to take a look at U.S. senators. Basically, we have to pick a majority leader. If you guys are unaware, we already got one contendant in the race for Senate Majority Leader, and that is the senator from Texas, not Ted Cruz. He's automatically, but then that's John Cornyn III. Now, John Cornyn, he's been in the Senate since, I would say, 2002. He's been in there for a very long time. He's been in there more longer than I have been alive. So he apparently, I would say, is very active and probably the front runner into claiming the Senate majority. However, is he the candidate, the appropriate candidate to, as you know, seize this said position? Well, this is what I think here. So we got to take a look at his positions. First off, yes, Cornyn is considered a reliable ally more with George W. Bush. When it comes to Trump, he describes himself as a immutable Trump ally. Immutable. He has praised Trump during the most of his presidential term, but in the weeks before his re-election campaign and amid a tightening race with Democratic nominee MJ Hager, Cornyn began to distance himself from Trump. He said that he praised Trump in public, but expressed disagreement with him in private. During Trump's presidency, Cornyn and fellow Texas Senator Ted Cruz contributed to the appointment of multiple conservative judges to federal courts. Oh yeah, that goes on to more. Yes, Cornyn has been a said defendable ally of Trump. I would say Cornyn is more of a Gingrich Republican. He will defend Republicans abroad. If Trump has an R by his name, he's automatically an ally. So that's pretty much how he rolls. Is that bad? Some say. Well, not in this case. First off, you have to be pro-Trump in order to have the Senate Majority Leader? Well, you don't. It would be best for you not to be anti-Trump, because if we get, let's say, Mitt Romney, who will not be senator and will not be running in the race for the said, as you know, Majority Leader, that would end up pretty badly. But get John Cornyn, who is kind of in between. I would comparable with Tim Scott and Newt Gingrich. I can see that sort of working. I don't know if you guys have different opinions. Otherwise, people say J.D. Vance. And J.D. Vance, and along with Ted Budd. But the problem with that is they are just newly elected. We got to remember, MAGA Republicans are new. They're usually freshmen, sophomores, or I would say juniors, because MAGA Republicans arose in 2016. We still have a lot of Republicans that have been, as we call, the establishment. And we can tell them, hey, go adapt to our new party lines. They will say, okay. Like John Cornyn's kind of cooperating, Ted Cruz is cooperating, but somehow they're still having some establishment ways. Their establishment past is still there, and they can still do it. There's also Mike Rounds. John Thune, he is also, I think he's running too. We'll check. I only heard about John Cornyn, but according to MSNBC, there are 3 Johns running for Senate Majority Leader. 3 Johns. Thune, yep. Cornyn and Barrasso. Now, Barrasso, we haven't heard much of this individual. He's from Wyoming. And John Barrasso, after it was revealed in November 2018 that Trump had business dealings with Russia, whatever, Trump derangement syndrome, the president is, it says, Barrasso said the president is an international businessman. I'm not surprised what he's doing, international business. Asked whether Trump should have disclosed those business ties during the campaign, Barrasso said so basically he's kind of saying, hey, you know what? Trump is said a businessman. He's going to do businessman stuff. Yeah, and there's more conspiracy on there. So, yes. I can kind of tell this Wikipedia article, by the way, it's kind of had a TDS article writer, because you see, usually if you're a writer, you would have, yes, oppose this fact, but make it more neutral. This looks like a negative thing about him. Barrasso refused to condemn Trump. Oh, wow. Condemn Trump for defending the January 6 rioters who called for Pence's death. Oh no, oh no, I don't want Barrasso. So Barrasso's an option. You gotta do the whole story. Come on, Wikipedia. There's context. All right. So yeah, Barrasso, John Thune, senator from South Dakota. Okay, so he was in 2020. I wouldn't say he was a critic. It says here in December 2020, Feud made national news when he said that he opposed any further efforts to challenge the 2020 presidential election results. He argued that such efforts would go down like a shot dog. It kind of did, though, in the Senate. Then President Donald Trump, who contended that the election results were illegitimate and that he had defeated Democratic nominee Joe Biden, responded by attacking Thune on Twitter. Okay, I guess Thune is not going to be the best guy, honestly. We need someone that will work well with Trump and work well with the Senate majority. So yeah, I would say no to Thune. Thune has an advantage because he is the minority whip in the United States Senate. So I'm personally aiming at, I would say, Cornyn. Totally going in with Cornyn. I think would be a good leader. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. And of course, I'll see you all in the next political episode. Have a great day.